Hey Watch Daymaker, my name is Michelle from The Once Another Letter. Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this vlog, you will see me reading about the girl on fire, Katniss Everdeen. After a very long time, I'm going to be reading the books, also going to be watching the movies they make. Okay, you'll see me go through a amount of emotions, with also be lots of incoherent, rambly thoughts. Hope that you have a drink, sit back, enjoy, just pass it over to Monday Me. I'm currently on chapter 2. I don't know if you swapped out Katniss. It feels very indigenous. Has me very curious about the world in general, which I'm sure it will explain, because I'm only listening to the audiobook on 1.2 speed because I want to like hear everything, because I'm also doing like some bullet journaling stuff. I have this entire chunk to go. Makes me really fucking sad.
Resulted in a beating if discovered. In his actions. We ate slices of bread for breakfast and headed to school. It was as if spring had come overnight. Warm, sweet air. A bell went off in my...
I thought that I would update you on where I am in the reading vlog as of now. I think the last time that I left off, I was somewhere chapter 2. I've been taking it really slow, and I've also been adding pictures of the amount of times I've cried, and after a certain amount of time I haven't cried. I've just mostly been like just complete and absolute utter shock. I currently stopped. It's 11:30. I've been up too late. I've stopped at chapter 16, so I've read like almost about 200 pages today. I'm actually really enjoying this. I definitely understand. Here's how I feel in terms of Katniss as a character. I completely understand her motivation as an eldest daughter, as somebody who has always had to take care of their younger siblings, and she just has this resourcefulness about her, but it's a reluctant resourcefulness. Katniss grew up way too fast. I also really enjoyed listening to her talk about her father and how much that he meant to her, and like how much his death really rocked her. Like it really just devastated her. Where District 12 is actually located in Appalachia, and the capital is located somewhere in Colorado. Definitely makes sense. Like I'm thinking the arena is somewhere in like Montana, and this is before I watch the movies or before I read anything more. Like it's really doesn't show you, like it says it's in the Rockies, but like the Rocky could be somewhere in between Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Arizona, like that deal. But she does talk about how hot it is, how she is she's so reluctant, and most of this like just stems from trauma. Like she'll talk about how much she hates PETA, and I'm like, girl, no you don't. He just represents a certain part of you that you don't want to acknowledge because you have trauma. And the whole like, oh, I hate Haymitch. Yeah, he's got trauma. He's an alcoholic. There's also some very subtle points to, is Katniss autistic? Because she does talk about how her face is like, Haymitch describes her as sullen and miserable or something like that. What really got me is that like despite being so just absolutely abused by his mother, that PETA is still like kind and still shows kindness to Katniss even when she doesn't fucking deserve it at all. Like, she's having a hissy fit at the Capitol, and she's like, why are you trying to pretend? And he's just like, okay, Katniss. In my head, I'm thinking to myself, like, girl, he likes you. He's literally alone. Like, his fucking mom doesn't think that he's gonna fucking survive. Like, he doesn't even think that he's gonna survive. And he got beat the shit out of from the careers, had to make an alliance with them so he didn't fucking die. Like, you were all like, oh, well, you don't want to die. And then you're mad because he makes an alliance. So I am about 40 pages from the third part. According to script, I have almost 4 hours left in the audiobook. If I really try, maybe I can finish this tomorrow, but I'm not gonna push it. As you can see, I have post-it notes in the margins, and this is just because I don't have any annotating tools right now. One of my favorite action moments. The scene where you do see a little bit of body horror, the tracker jackers, and how like bad the stings are, but she gets the bow. I just knew like as soon as that one girl was acting snooty falooty, oh, she's gonna die. And then Rue, Miss Clever Pants, she points at the wasps, like that wasp nest. That is scary. Scary. Like, you don't want to mess with a girl who controls controls flora and fauna. I do love Haymitch. I do love him, aside from the fact that he is surly and generally unlikable, but that's just because of the trauma. I'm just interested to see what this looks like in movie form, because like I said, I've only seen like half of the movie and I don't remember hardly anything that happens. But I'm interested to see what happens. I'm right at the spot where she is partnered up with Rue, and I really like Rue. Like, she's so cute and she's so sweet and she's so small. Seems really sweet. I don't want anything bad to happen to her.
Here your dreams are sweet, and tomorrow brings them true. Here is the place where I love you. Everything's still and quiet. Then, almost eerily, it's the capital I hate for doing this to all of us. She could really be asleep in that meadow after all. I whisper. I press the 3 middle fingers of my left hand against my lips and hold them out in her direction. Then I walk away without looking back. Then the general birdsong begins again. And I know she's gone.
Hi! So, that fucked me up. That fucked me up a lot. Harder than I thought it was going to. So, as someone who's saying to somebody as they're dying, that was a very unique way of us saying goodbye to Rue. And how she just wanted to hear music again for the last time. She just wanted to hear music again for the last time because she loved it more than anything. And that's a lot. That really could be deep. Okay. So, I've got lunch here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what happens between me crying and, now. It has been a solid 60 pages, 60, 70 pages since, the unfortunate death. I know that in the third one there's like a war thing, right? What I don't like though is, are they really playing each other's emotions to get things? That's pretty obvious, but at the same time, how do they really feel about each other? They can't have a conversation about it because cameras are watching, you know? It feels very vulnerable. I know it's real on Peeta's part, but I don't know if it's real on Katniss's part. So I'm about maybe like 80 pages from the end. I just really want things to go better. Oh my god! Peeta was literally says, lean down a minute first, he says. Need to tell you something. I lean over and put my good ear to his lips, which tickle as he whispers, remember, we're madly in love, so it's alright to kiss me anytime you feel like it. Like, what? Anyway, that's all. So I'm on the very last chapter. I read a little bit today. I'm gonna finish it full on. So we'll see you at the end of this chapter. This is so fucked up! This is so fucked up! That's not even okay! That is so messed up, dude! Peeta's gonna fucking die! And there's fucking... What is this? There's like 30 pages left. What is this? I'm sad. This is the end? So we don't get to see... I gotta read the second book to figure out what the fuck happens? I was gonna do this where I read one book, and then in a couple months I was gonna read the second book. But no, now I'm like, no, I need to find out what the fuck happens right now. Obviously, this is a 5-star. This is probably like my first actually favorite book of the year. I can't wait to watch the movie. Like, I'm emotionally fucked up. Hi. So it is the next day. And no, I haven't bothered to get myself ready for anything. This is a very well-crafted book. In 2008, I was in my sophomore year of high school. A lot of people were reading it. It was very popular. And I was like, hell no, I'm not reading that, because it's about like a totally different world than mine. And at that point, I wasn't reading fantasies. I was reading like real world shit. I was reading nonfictions. Like, I used to be a really big nonfiction girly, and I was like, no, I don't want to read that. I don't want to read some dystopian about a totally different world, totally different government. Like, was not interested in that at all. And then as I started, people would always reference like, yeah, the Hunger Games. And so I have no fucking clue what I'm gonna be looking at. All I remember is the like, I volunteer as tribute, right? And I've been seeing edits of like PETA all over, and I didn't get it. I was like, okay, what's the point? I thought everybody liked Gale. No one likes Gale. No one should like Gale. I'm a full-on PETA stan at this point, and as you can see, there's just post-it note after post-it note after post-it note. I even wrote down like when I started it. I liked the survival part of it. I've been watching more things throughout, like, from at least 2010 to now, and one big part of that is my partner has kind of pushed me out of my original comfort zone, and now we watch, and I've always kind of watched things about survival as a kid, like Homeward Bound. I watched Natty Gann, 8 Above. I've always liked things where people have to get out of something or survive something. In terms of the characters, I liked Katniss's character. I liked the fact that she wasn't like a badass and like good at everything. That is something that I feel some fantasy stories, like some survival stories, she knew like basic hunting, but she also very much was aware that if you are not finding certain things, if you're toast, you're done. One of my friends also brought this up with me. Katniss feels indigenous. Here's the thing about me. When I go into something, I like to know everything about it. So when people complain about like, oh, well, this info dumped, I'm like, yes, please give me the info dump. I want the info dump. I want the mythos. Because otherwise, if I don't know, then I'm fucking lost. So I'm not a really big fan of like having to figure shit out. In terms of PETA, oh my god, this boy is thirsty as heck. I liked him as a character. He's very sweet, very soft. I like how he was like, yeah, I'm pretty much gonna die. Literally survives getting stabbed as shit. I really liked Haymitch, and I did not like Effie. Like, wanted to punch Effie in the face like half the time. Liked Cinna and Portia. I'm not really a fan of Gale. I don't like Gale because I feel like he represents like a Republican stereotype. He's a hunter. The thing I didn't like about him, and what was a contrast between him and PETA, is that PETA accepts Katniss as who she is, not as who she should be. PETA loves you so much. What is this? I liked a lot of Katniss's inner thoughts, but I wish that we would have gotten a PETA point of view. I read this in like 3 days. I started it last month, and I read like 10 pages, right? And then I started up again, and I read like a couple more pages. And then Monday and Tuesday just flew through this thing. Hi, how are you feeling? You okay? Was that jarring for you? Because it was jarring for me. Here are my thoughts on The Hunger Games, written by Suzanne Collins. It was brilliant. I'm going to give this a 5 stars. I This is one of those stories that you can read when you are 8 and you can read when you're like 80. There are so many amazing characters and messages spread throughout the movie, as well as takes on so many big worldwide things. In terms of characters, Katniss Everdeen is one of my favorites. I really appreciated her in terms of being the eldest daughter, to constantly taking care of the one person that she loves so much. The way food insecurity has challenged her, challenged everyone that she lives with, her community. I also definitely see in the ways that she has trauma bonded with Gale, how that affects her as well. In terms of her being the eldest because her mom mentally checked out after her dad died, that was really hard to read. The way that she describes him as being like a light of her life, that was definitely how a lot of us who have lost our fathers can feel. Really see the ways that her connection with Peeta reflected in what she thought of her father versus what she thinks of Peeta, and the male influence. I don't know about you, but Katniss feels very indigenous to me. In terms of Peeta, my boy, he is thirsty. He's also very sweet. He is very smart. Definitely soft boy, cinnamon roll. Sad. I just feel like Suzanne Collins is going to be like, yeah, we're going to introduce this one character and they're going to be so darling, soft, and then we're going to kill them off. So I'm not getting attached to any more people because I just know that she's gonna fuck me up. As for the games themselves, fuck President Snow. Like, how is this a way to be like, don't forget that you all tried to rebel against us, so we're just gonna change it all around and take 2 kids from every place. Here are maybe some predictions for the next book. There's definitely gonna be tension between Katniss and Gale because of like all the stuff that happened. I mean, this boy is watching this too. He's going to be more Republican. He's probably going to say something that he's going to regret. Obviously, a war is brewing, so... Hi, I watched the movie. I really liked it. I wish that Katniss's relationship with her father, as well as Peeta's relationship with his family, like, was a bit more highlighted, so you really understood where. Fuck President Snow. Thank you for watching this vlog. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to see anything more or have exclusive content, you can go to my Patreon. I would love to have you. And that is it for me. I'll see you when I read this, okay? Put down, if you made it all the way, put a bird in the comments and let me know who your favorite Hunger Games person is.
Can Chris Evans drive? What is going on with me and driving? Yes, I can drive very well.
I'm trying to get a bunch of bitches to kneel.
Jonathan? I don't like it. I don't like it.
Cut the check. Cut the check.
Get that bitch off the monitor.
Where's my husband?
Baby spider.